Hey everyone, Josh here. So we're back at the silver V10 that I've done a few videos on here recently. So everything's going well. The very last thing, or hopefully the last thing, is the manual shift buttons aren't working. So after driving it for a little bit, you have your gear selector on this side here. It'll all highlight, or it'll all get highlighted and everything shifts normally. But if you try to go to your manual up and down shift, it just doesn't do anything. So you can drive it normally, but since this is somebody else's vehicle, we're gonna get that, at least take a look at it and see what's going on. So we're gonna get the center console apart, get the shifter off, and see. I think there's some magnets and a sensor in here to know what you're doing. And yeah, we'll see what it looks like inside. So starting here, we're gonna take the shifter out. So I read some people said put it in a neutral. The only thing is now you can't take your key out and it sits here and beeps at you the whole time. My parts one, I left it in park and it worked fine. It's a little bit trickier to get everything up and over it when it's closer to the radio. So next up, I'm just wrapping some tape around the button because you have to pop that out. So tape or a rag, something like that. So the idea is you get on there with pliers gently and you pop the button out towards you. Up next, I took the V10 symbol out and there's going to be a little C-clip. Once that's out, everything can just get popped up like that. It's fairly stiff, like pretty good pull. Then back here at the cubby, it's just kind of pop it up and out. You're going to have the light at the back. You kind of have to either unplug or just push the light through. looking at there, I think I just popped it into the back there. So you can just worry about that on reassembly. So once that's done, you can take out these two small torque screws at the back if the clip isn't broken, which I think one of these was. And then from there, you're gonna have to gently pry this whole assembly up. So you're gonna wanna be very careful because at the time of recording, this car is just shy of 20 years old, so the plastic's pretty brittle. And they use those snap clip things, I don't know what you're gonna call them. So you gotta work your way from front to rear, rear to front, and just gently prying it up. So this takes a little bit of time here. You don't want to mar the plastic all up, and you don't want to break all these clips out, because then you're going to end up with a bunch of rattles here after you have it reassembled. So right now there's a pile of connectors you gotta undo. I'm going to, right after this, I'll show you on my phone a nice close zoom up on the connectors and how to unplug them. So then here we are getting the cover off, which I think just pops out. There's just four kind of clips that holds it onto the circuit board in the white piece that you kind of see here. And then same kind of thing here. There's just a couple more clips and then up it goes. And then if you want, you can take the foam out, but you don't have to. So after doing all my V10 engine removal videos and cam videos, stuff like that, I found out this camera doesn't really capture the fine stuff very nicely. So I'll switch to my phone for this part. So these connectors are all nice and easy. You just unlock the tabs. It's not really rocket science. This was the one for the LED circuit board. Same kind of deal. You gotta get in there with your thumb or a small screwdriver. Yeah, all the connectors are not real rocket science. I've got the two screws on the back here. When you get this felt removed, you got all these locking push pin tabs, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. So you just got to be kind of gentle when you're popping that panel out, you don't break it. So we're down to the circuit board. So take this off. You can see you got magnets here. So that'll be, move your shifter over into the tiptronic or the shifting mode. That brings that magnet over and it lines up with these three, I believe they're MOSFETs. So you'd have your at-rat state, your bumping up gears, down gears, and then that's just kind of the default central. So I don't see anything wrong in there. There's nothing that would make it so that magnet doesn't pick up there very well. So it's a good chance the circuit board with these MOSFETs are bad. Yeah, I'm going to look up parts and see which route we're going to go here with this. So here's the new assembly, or new to this car assembly out of my parts Touareg. So we're going to plug that in, probably just plug some of these in so it doesn't beep, and then yeah, we'll see if it works. Okay, so we got it running here, kind of set up. So foot on the brake, pull up on here, and then go back to the drive position. And then if you go over to your tiptronic, now that's actually coming up. So now it's registering that it's in, there we go. So now it's registering that it's in tiptronic mode. So before, when you flip it over to here, it just stayed in drive. So it seems, everything seems to be working right. I can't obviously shift up because I'm not moving, but that's the issue. So put that back in park. Be careful when you're moving, when you're pulling this up, that you're not pushing on it. So the part number for this module itself is right here. If you want to get a used one, that's the whole shifter assembly, I believe. Maybe in the future I'll look into like rebuilding this. Sorry, the phone's not working so well there. So I'm believing, I believe the center one is the one that registers that it's in tiptronic mode. Come on. I believe that center one registers is in tiptronic mode, and then that up and down will be doing the actual shifting. As you can see, so that's that magnet sliding over. That's shift up, neutral, and down. So I have a feeling there's a fault on that one there itself. But anyway, so that's a whole new board. So here we're gonna do reassembly. It's not much different than taking it all apart. That's all the connectors. You wanna make sure everything's plugged in, obviously. Pop the foam back in. That's just there for sound deadening, so it's there to begin with, so I may as well put it back in. And then putting this trim piece on is a lot easier going back together than it is taking apart. You just kind of get everything sitting there nice and square, and you just kind of pop it in gently. And as I said before, the plastic's brittle, don't break it, or else you end up with a pile of rattles. So once that's in, I think I was just struggling with the back corner there a little bit. Once that's in, you can get your two screws put back in the back of your cup holder here. Get the surround piece put on, and then you can get the cubby liner back on there. So I had just popped that connector, the light through, so just pop the light back in, and you're good to go. You just want to check and make sure your armrest clips, everything's good like that. Next up, put the shift knob back on, push it all the way down. Put the snap ring back in, put your V10 emblem thing back on, and then you can take this tape off if you use tape, and then push the button back in. So the tiptronic's not really rocket science, so we go over there, it downshifted, that's me upshifting. There's certain limits, obviously it's not going to let you redline it or lug it down too hard, but everything seems to be working good to go. So thanks for watching, and hopefully this helped.